Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of your favorite podcast. I don't know, with your favorite girls, Sana and
Jackie. Hello.
Hello. We're moving right into March.
Can't believe it's already here.
I know. We say that every year, though.
I
don't
know.
we? Every year, I'm like, March? What? Not even March, but like every month. It's
flying by.
First quarter's almost done.
First quarter. First Q in the books.
Q1 in the books.
Q1.
I hope you guys hit your quotas.
Your goal.
Your goals.
Whatever that may be.
I did notice the gym is starting to fall off.
Yeah.
Last month is when I noticed it a lot, but it was expected.
We knew it was going to happen. That's all right. You tried. 2024 is going to be your year.
So for them.
Yes.
They
for
tried.
everyone out there.
Thank God, though. I don't have to fight to get into a class now, so it's great.
That is kind of nice, honestly. That was like my favorite thing about, because at 24, you'd have to get a number to get into the spin class, and that was the best. When people started dropping off, you're like, oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Guaranteed. Exactly. All right, so weekend recap. What did we do?
Friday, I was at home. It was I got my blanket and the fireplace, sat there, and I was like, you know what? I decided to not go out. It wasn't even, my mom was like, you're not going out tonight? And I was like, no, not tonight. I fell asleep at like 10.
Lovely.
It was gorgeous.
Love it.
Saturday, I met up with a friend during the day. Then I had dinner at night in Orange County. No, I did not go to Joey, if that is what you're wondering.
Where did you go?
I went to Cucina Enoteca.
Okay. Enoteca, yeah.
It's Enoteca?
Enoteca? Oh, we're saying it wrong, but yes, at Fashion Island.
No, there's also one there.
One
I was at the Irvine Spectrum. The food's actually really good there. I like the Italian food there.
Okay.
I've
never been.
No, it's really good.
I should go.
I'm a fan. So I was there with some girlfriends, and then Sunday, one of my friends fractured her foot.
Oh, no.
So I was spending time with her.
Oh.
And I brought her dinner, and we just hung out and chilled.
Look at you. So nice. Such a friend.
I am a loyal friend. You know
are.
That.
That's very true. Well, although the other day I asked you to bring me Chipotle and you refused, so.
Well, she was about to put in for a new co-host, Nad.
Yes, I was going to. Little did she know that today was actually going to be her last podcast. Yeah. And I would be holding interviews.
Yeah, right after.
For the month of April. Let's see, what did I do? Friday, I don't think I really did.
I think you were also, we were talking to each other. I think you were also home.
I was also home. Though, yeah, that's right. That was when I wanted a Chipotle burrito and you denied me. And then Saturday, I met up with a friend.
Mm-hmm. Funny enough, where did you go?
I went to Joey's.
Wow. One of us must always be there, clearly.
We trade off. It's like a divorced child.
Yeah.
And so it was my weekend.
Yeah.
And so we went and we hung out, and it was packed, which was kind of crazy because I think it's now finally catching on.
Probably because of podcast.
I don't want to say it's because we've talked it up so much, but probably. So we should talk to somebody about getting a percentage of profits. Anyway, some sort of kickback. And so it was really packed, 2.5 hour wait. At like 9:00, which was like insane to me. And so we were like, we put our name down, but I was like, I'm not waiting around for this. So we just walked over to Fleming's, which is right next door, and just sat down at the bar and got some apps and a couple of drinks. I love I don't know what it is, but they just make like the best lemon drop martini.
Oh.
And it's so delicious. I love a good lemon drop martini.
I don't think I've actually ever had one.
Oh, so good. It's so good. And they just make the best one. I don't know what it is, but I love it. There was a little bit of like a bar fight that happened. It's more like a bar argument. I just love it. People watching is like one of my favorite things to do. It's so great. And I also just really love like this. It's not good to say, but I also love watching drunk white people. And it's just my favorite. It just really, really is. So of course, who knows what went down. We kind of caught like right as it started. So I have no idea what the situation was, but this much older woman was trying to appear very sober, which she clearly was not.
Were they trying to kick her out?
No, she was trying to get some other guy kicked out.
Ooh.
It was, I don't even know. I don't even know what the dynamic was, because like one guy was wearing a Patagonia vest and then she had leather leggings on, and I'm just like, what is happening here? Like, what is the connection? So, and then this other guy she was talking to looked like like a lumberjack. So I have no idea what the situation was, but dinner and a show. And then we went over to Joey's after. And that was fun.
Yeah.
We just hung out at the bar and just had some drinks. We talked to we talked to some crazy girl next to us. We talked to a guy next to us, which he was fun to talk to. But yeah, it was a good night.
Yeah.
And then Sunday, hung out with family, went and saw the movie Jesus Revolution, which is very interesting. I don't know if anyone's interested in seeing it, but it was actually very well done. It's just, it's interesting obviously to me and my family, because like that's our faith, right? We're Christian. But it's actually very kind of interesting that Orange County is kind of an epicenter of some very like, I don't want to say like revolution stuff, but some of like new church things that have happened, or I don't know how to describe it. But anyway, so it was interesting. It was a well done movie. But yeah, and I haven't been in the movies in forever.
Same.
Of course, there was like a bunch of like, I knew it. I knew this was going to happen too. And I should have said something to my family, but I didn't. I knew there was going to be some youth group in there. And of course there was.
For a movie like that.
Of course there was, yeah. And of course there was a youth group. These youths, like just the worst, the absolute worst. And I was like, I want to go.
Yeah, why am I here?
Yeah. And then I was reminded of why I don't like going to the movies now. I used to love going to the movies, but now I'm reminded why.
Yeah, I don't really go anymore because I like to have my snacks, my blanket spread out.
Yeah.
I don't want to have to like sneak my burrito in my purse because I did used to do that. I would be the one where people take like candy. I'm like, no, I'm taking a burrito.
Oh yeah, I've taken an In-N-Out. I've taken in like a hot dog and a slice of pizza from Costco. Home. Yeah,
I'm not bringing in like a little candy bar. No,
absolutely not.
I'm bringing a damn burrito.
Yeah, I'm bringing in a rotisserie chicken.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, so but yeah, no, easy peasy weekend. Good weekend. It was kind of nice. I'm glad it was cold. So. That was always. I'm not here for the heat, but anyway.
I'm here for the heat. I'm waiting.
Whatever. All right. So we're gonna be talking about pop culture, but we decided to kind of rename it.
Yeah.
And because Sana was like, I was like, hey, like, do we have like pop culture? Is anything going on? And she was like, oh my God, Selena and Hailey Bieber. And I was like, bro, like, I don't even know what's happening. And so our new segment, or rebranded segment, is called Explain It to a Millennial.
Because
I have no idea.
Yeah. And I think a lot of millennials have no idea. And just like my Gen Z friends, I get my news from TikTok. So I get into a major rabbit hole on TikTok and I know too much that I shouldn't know because...
About nothing.
About things that are so irrelevant to my life that are doing me zero good.
Yeah.
But then it's something to talk about.
Yeah.
So there are two big scandals happening across the board right now. The most recent biggest scandal is the Vanderpump scandal.
Vanderpump scandal.
That is a scandal. So
what is it? I don't even know.
So the people that watch Vanderpump, so basically Vanderpump's a show of Lisa Vanderpump's, like she had a restaurant in SUR, named SUR.
Yeah.
And the people that worked at SUR, there's like a show based on them, a reality show.
Okay.
So this show's been going on for many, many seasons. It's not a new show at all. But that's how it started. And that's why it's called Vanderpump. Because of Lisa Vanderpump, yada, yada, yada. So anyways, there are two guys on there named Tom Sandoval and Tom Schwartz. Okay. Tom Sandoval has been dating this girl, Ariana, a fellow gal on the show, for 9 years.
Okay.
And there is this other gal that's on the show that used to date one of the other guys on the show. Mm-hmm. And they were engaged. I think they were engaged or near engaged, something. They broke up. Anyways, it came out that Tom Sandoval has been having a love affair for 7 months with that girl. Her name's Raquel.
For 7 months?
For 7 months. And he's been in a 9-year relationship.
Oh, shit.
So she saw Ariana is the girl's name, the girl he was dating for 9 years. She saw footage of Raquel, like, touching herself on Tom's phone. And she was like, what the hell?
You guys.
The tea is hot. So it is blasted everywhere. People are hating on their restaurants because there's Tom in West Hollywood.
Okay.
They just opened Shorts and Sandy's. They just opened it recently, I think.
Where?
In that area.
Okay.
And everybody's like not having it.
That sucks.
Yeah. So it's really bad. And it's just not good for him. I think there are other investors in the businesses that are like, don't take it on us. But it's like, dude, that's the brand of your restaurant. That's the brand of your lounge.
Hey,
you're going to have to take the heat.
This is what happens.
Otherwise, you got to rebrand.
You don't know who you're in bed with.
Yeah, but I think what's so crazy about it is like people have been showing footage And it was almost so obvious that none of us really ever thought about it, that you wouldn't connect it. Like they both were wearing matching necklaces, lightning bolt necklaces. She would be seen at he's also in a band. She would be seen at all of his concerts, but with no other castmates.
Interesting.
So there's like things where people are like,
the signs were there.
The signs were there, but because they're all friends, nobody like.
No one caught on.
No one caught on.
Damn.
So apparently, even he was like hooking up with her in the same house.
That's fucked up.
Yeah.
That's fucked up.
While she would like be sleeping or whatever.
Yeah, like it's fucked up to just cheat on somebody, obviously, but like to do it in the home that you share with that person, like in their bed, like that's another level.
It's so bad. And what's so even more fucked up is that he released an apology, and the apology was basically like, I know you guys are mad at me, but don't hate on the businesses and the other investors I have and the livelihoods of our staff and all of that because they count on us, and didn't say one thing about Ariana. Not one thing.
Spoken like a true douchebag.
Like a true douchebag. And it's like, well, you think this is really saving your image right now? It's making you look fucking worse.
This isn't helping, bro.
Yeah, so I'm sure all the investors are like shitting bricks right now. Because this is I don't think there's any recovery from this.
No. Damn.
If what women do not stand is a cheating asshole.
This is true. This is true. What we will all band together with
is a cheating asshole.
Band together against, I should say, is a cheating asshole.
So there's
not going to be any winning.
There's not going to be any winning.
Okay. Thank you for explaining that, because I've seen it on Instagram and I'm just like, I have no fucking idea. Like it's all over like DeuxMoi and stuff, and I'm like, I have no idea what this is talking about.
Because they're kind of in the reality. But this show has had like a shit ton of seasons. It's not a new show.
No, I mean I've definitely heard of Vanderpump Rules, and I've been to Sir. Terrible restaurant, by the way.
The thing with Lisa Vanderpump, her restaurants have great ambiance.
Yes, it was great ambiance.
I agree.
Food
Sir's
and drink
food
was
is
trash.
Tom Tom is cool too, but a great ambiance. But I've just had drinks there, and the drinks were good.
Yeah,
but now I'm not gonna go.
Yeah,
obviously. I don't even watch the show, and I'm like,
solidarity, sister. You know what I mean?
I'm not gonna have help. Yeah, I'm not gonna help your pockets.
Yeah, absolutely not.
No, we don't do a girl like that. 9-year relationship, you break up with her.
You break up with her,
and then with someone she's friends with, it's fucked up on all ends. The friend Raquel,
everyone. Oh, messy.
Apparently they're in love. I don't know. It's gross. Anyway, so then on to other news. Before this happened, and people are like, Kris Jenner probably leaked this Vanderpump thing because the Selena, Hailey, Kylie beef was going on.
Yeah, what the hell is that?
And Kris Jenner probably could not have that.
Explain it to a millennial.
Okay, we're gonna have to. We can't keep going on. This is gonna be short. Basically, Hailey and Kylie people are saying that they were making fun of Selena on their Instagram stories. Kylie denies that. She says it was reaching. But Selena is the most beloved of that generation out of the celebrities. Out of all those stars of that age range, she is the most loved.
Yeah.
So everybody bandwagon to support Selena because, our girl keeps it real. They lost a ton of followers. Selena gained like 10 million followers in a week. She is the most followed woman on Instagram, and I think she's breaking history to be the most followed person ever.
Oh, wow.
On Instagram. Like she's almost at 400 million.
Jeez.
So then after all that happened, people started, the internet's doing the internet's thing. They started digging on Hailey Bieber. If you watch You, they're now calling her Hailey Goldberg. Again, if you watch You understand why. They're just saying she's a major stalker. She was always trying to be Selena. Like there's just like a lot of weird coincidences that like Selena does something, then Hailey does something. And there's just like a lot of weird clips when you match them. She almost says the same things as interviews. Selena gets a cook show. Hailey gets a cook show. There's like a lot of things where like she knows that Justin Bieber, like she knows Selena is Justin Bieber's like love of his life that he lost. That you could tell she's trying to mold to be Selena so bad.
Right.
It's weird. She just looks creepy now. She looks like everybody's like saying that Justin's dating a fan. And it's not a good time to be Hailey Bieber on social media right now. Yeah, it's not a good time.
This makes sense then because I did see a video and it was a clip of comparing like Selena said something and then it showed Hailey saying basically the same way, but like not as like articulate. Then Selena said something like, "Oh, I'm on a cooking show. Like here's like my Nona or whatever," and then Hailey was like, "Here's Gammy." Yeah, and it was just and I had no idea what it was about.
It's very similar. Even like Selena has a G tattoo for her sister.
Yeah.
And in behind her ear, and Haley has the exact same G behind her ear, and it's like
G for what?
They're like Gustin.
It's Justin with a G.
Yeah. No, there's like a lot of creepy things where you could tell that she's just trying to be Selena.
Interesting.
And she's so bothered, clearly, because she's trying to hold on to her mans. Everyone's saying she's probably going to get knocked up now.
Yeah, someone. That's another thing I saw. Someone was like, guaranteed she's going to get pregnant.
Yeah, and I'm sure it's not easy to be with someone when everybody stands your husband to be with another woman.
Yeah.
But they also got married 2 months after they broke up. So it's like, also, you were clearly the rebound.
Yeah, you were the rebound. And he just
thought
stuck
marriage,
with it.
Exactly. I don't think he's happy in it. He doesn't look that happy ever.
Yeah.
He's not that affectionate with her. He hasn't said one thing since this came out. He hasn't tried to defend her or anything. And there was this meme that I saw. They were like, the only thing Justin's worried about right now is if Selena's mad at him.
That's so true, probably.
It's so true.
Oh my gosh. That's really funny.
Yeah. So
okay.
That's what's happening there.
Well, thank you, Sana, for explaining it to a millennial.
TikTok and learn.
Yeah, because that's the problem, is that I've seen it and I'm just like, I have no idea what this is.
Yeah.
And it's not enough, like, it's not juicy enough for me to like then go down the rabbit hole of like actually figuring out what's going on. So we're here to help. We're doing God's work.
I like all tea.
Yeah, this is true. Yeah. You do love tea. But thank you. So everyone, we hope you enjoyed Explain It to a Millennial. We'll probably be having more of these because there's a lot of shit that goes down with Gen Z just being, kind of at the forefront of everything. They're the up and coming. And I have no idea what the fuck is going on. Yeah, sure. So if you want to be cool,
listen to what I have to
listen to what Sana has to say. So today's episode is we're doing something a little bit different. We thought we would just kind of do different things today. We're going to kind of do like a Hot Topics episode. Sana and I constantly send each other TikToks and there's always things about like dating and relationships and life. And we end up having sometimes spirited debates on TikTok. Oh,
yeah, we get passionate.
We get very passionate.
Like, oh, shut up.
Yeah. And so we thought, why not take it to all of you?
Yeah.
Include everyone in our spirited and lively debates.
See what you think.
Yeah, see what you think. So these are so today, really, we're just going to be kind of different topics that we've kind of come across, or even TikToks that we've seen and that we kind of want to debate. Sometimes, believe it or not, everyone, sometimes Sana and I do not agree.
A lot of times.
But first hot topic really is, how's Hinge going?
Hinge. Okay, so I lied to you guys. I did tell you I was going to explore the whole country and the whole world.
Yeah.
Have not gone around to doing that. I did exactly what I said I wasn't going to do.
Yes.
And parked myself in LA. Literally what I said I wasn't going to do.
Yeah.
And then I was like, the problem is I can't go on dates if they're elsewhere.
Yes.
And I can't give you guys feedback. I can't let you know how my search is going.
Yeah.
I can tell you where to swipe, but I can't give you
the real what the people really want.
What the people want. Yeah. The juice.
The juice.
I did it a solace favor. And I parked myself in LA.
Out here doing charity work for all of us.
Out here doing charity work. So I've been on 2 dates so far.
Mm-hmm.
First date that I went on, we'll have different values. What we want in life's different. Yeah. So it just wasn't.
It wasn't there.
Yeah, it wasn't there for me. We move forward.
Yeah.
I just had another date last week and he was really nice. It was fun. It was cool. We went to a wine bar.
Very fun.
Had a good time. So that was nice. And then, there's a bunch of guys you talk to in between.
Right.
Problem with Hinge is, though, like, sometimes the conversations are so boring that I have no urge to respond. And I think men need to learn this. Like, don't send me, like, yeah, I had a busy day at work. Like, I have nothing to say to that. And I'm not going to say anything to that because you're not engaging.
Right. Well, that's exactly, I've seen that before, and I've heard that from Matthew Hussey.
Yeah.
As he says, like, how does he put it? I forget exactly how he puts it, but he says something like, it should just be like, it shouldn't be this constant, like, well, what about you? What about you? Well, what about you? It should be a free-flowing kind of conversation.
Yeah.
And you should be giving each other, you should be making statements, but you should also be asking questions or explaining more, like, and again, just very surface level, because you actually still want to have something to talk about on a first date. But yeah, don't sit there and give me like, oh, busy day at work. cool, bro.
Cool. I just
almost done. Like I just
have nothing to say to that.
Yeah.
And if they're boring, I honestly don't respond because I just have nothing to share.
Yeah.
And then you come across a lot of guys, which we talked about last episode, that will just match with you and never say anything to you. And it's like, then why did we match?
Yeah. Then what are you doing here?
What are you doing here? I'm not going to really reach out to you. That's not what I want to do. So we have a few other dates coming up. So we'll see with different men. So we will see how those go. You know, I am going, as we discussed, I'm going after what I normally wouldn't go after. And I'm prioritizing other things that I normally wouldn't prioritize.
Which is good.
So, yeah, it's going.
We like it.
We like it. So, you know, it is making life easier being in this zone. Because we did have one incident in San Diego, which is why I got over being in San Diego.
Right.
Where I matched with this guy. I was like kind of super interested in him. We had an 1.5-hour phone call. Mm-hmm. He was like, I want to meet you. I'm going to drive down and see you. And then he never fell through with his word. And it's not what I'm in here. I'm not here for.
Yeah. No. And again, granted, like, yes, we're in OC. He's in San Diego.
Logistic is hard.
Logistics are hard, but then
don't say that.
Don't say it.
Don't say it.
And this is what's irritating. And I think this is what everybody is going through. It's just, you know, for men, honestly, like, it's better if you don't say it, you know, than saying it and then not following through.
Yeah, totally.
Like, just don't say it. If you're not sure, like, truly, PSA, if you're not sure if you want to go out on a date with us, or if you'd like to have another phone call, then just be honest.
Or
then
just
say
honestly,
it.
you don't even have to say it. You just say, hey, it was great talking to you. I have to leave. I have to go to bed. I have to, like, whatever. Leave it at that. Don't do this whole, oh my God, like, I really enjoyed this conversation. We've been talking for 1.5 hours, and, like, I can't believe it's been this long. Like, I really want to meet you.
Yes.
I'm going to look at my schedule, and I'm going to drive down to meet you. And it's like,
right.
You didn't have to do all of that.
Exactly. Like, if that's not what you were feeling, then don't. And also, then I'll stop saying things in the moment as well.
Stop saying things in the moment.
Like, take a minute, take a beat, and then come back. And if you want to then see us, like, then say later on, hey, really enjoyed our conversation last night, or really enjoyed our conversation a couple nights ago. I'd like to take you to dinner. When are you free? You know?
So maybe logistics played a role, whatever.
Yeah,
so I just don't want to deal. We'll never do it. I didn't want to deal with the same thing happening. So I was like, let me just go a little more local.
Yeah.
And that's where I ended up here. But, you know, I feel like men need to realize our love language for a lot of women is you following through with what you say. That is my love language. You know, following through with what you say.
My love language is when actions match words.
Yeah. My love language is when actions match with words.
That is a universal truth. Every woman loves when you talk the talk and you walk the walk, and everything matches. So that's why I say, if you're not feeling it, or if you're still not sure, better to not create, you know, some excitement for us and make us think that you're going to do something with us, and then not do it.
Totally.
Just take a step back. Like, no one, again, not that you were expecting to be asked out. It was nice to be asked out. Mm-hmm. It is always nice to have a phone call and be like, hey, you know what? I really like you, or I'm digging this, you know, vibe. Like, I'd like to meet you in person, whatever. That's cool. But men, we would rather have, the follow through versus the initial excitement and then zero follow through.
Literally, I'm going to put that on a shirt. My love
language is follow through.
Is following through is when actions match words. Match their words.
I've always said this before. Let's put it into work perspective.
Yeah.
Do you love when your boss sits there and says, hey, I'll get you an answer by tomorrow, and they actually do it? Or do you love having to chase them down and keep on asking them, and when
it comes to the promotion or anything?
Exactly. The promotion, the help, somebody who's working on a project with you. Do you love chasing down people? Do you love working with people that don't follow through on what they're going to say? No. We don't like dating people like that. Nobody likes dating people like that, guy or girl. Get it together, everyone.
So I'll let you know how my dates go this week.
Yes.
We'll do more segments on these because I'm trying to go out there and see the vibes.
We like it. We love that you're trying new things. That's the important part.
We are.
So next hot topic. So we actually I stumbled upon a clip and I sent it to Sana, and I was like, I totally agree with this. And she was like, I don't. So we're going to play it for you guys right now.
Okay.
And then we're going to go and talk about it.
He FaceTimes me every night before bed without fail. We have been together for 3 years.
Yo, this video is not a flex. This is a reminder that women truly don't understand men. She's been together with this man for 3 years. He hasn't married her. That means he's not going to marry her. It takes a man approximately a year to a year and a half to decide whether he wants to marry a woman. Now, just because a man FaceTimes you every night, just because a man texts you, shares his location with you, sends you pictures, it does not mean that he's not cheating. It means that he understands the psychology of you. It will put your mind at ease for him to continue this routine. Men love routines. They love rules because guess what? Once you know the rules, you know how to break them.
Okay, so
this is a two-parter.
This is a two-part because I think he's talking about two different things. He's talking about just because he's doing that doesn't mean he's loyal to you. Mm-hmm. But I don't necessarily feel like just because you've been together for 3 years that it's a red flag that he hasn't married you yet.
See, and I think it is.
I don't see that at all. Because, yeah, a man may know that in a year and a half that he's ready to marry you. Doesn't mean he's logistically ready to marry you. Doesn't mean that she might not be ready to marry you. You might not be where you are in your careers. You may, like, there's a lot of factors that go into it where it's not so black and white. It's like, well, here is a 1 year and a half mark. I know I want to marry you, so it's going to happen. There's way more to a marriage in it being that simple.
No, I get what you're saying. I think for me, though, it's one of those things that, yes, it is a generalized statement. And there are individual situations where some people, like it depends on what age they met.
Yeah, like if you're 25, hell, if you're 28, whatever, like, I don't think it's like, well, he hasn't married you. It's been 3 years. It's like, why is it, maybe she's not ready for marriage.
See, but
maybe there's goals that you want to get to before you want to me, it's also like, I want to be financially ready for that.
Yeah.
There's so many factors to it. Like knowing you want to marry someone and actually marrying someone are two different things.
I agree with that, but also at the same time, I think I don't know. I always go back to, with men, if men want it, they will go for it. And if men want you, like, you will know it. Like, you'll know that you're wanted. But that
doesn't mean that he's not showing it to her.
But that's kind of what he's saying is I think what he's kind of maybe alluding to is that women sometimes think in terms of like, that loyalty looks like he FaceTimes me all the time. He texts me every day. He shares pictures. He shares my location. I know he wants me and he's loyal to me. Whereas what he's saying is, no, like, probably the best form of loyalty is he's going to marry you. He's going to put a ring on that finger and he's going to stand in front of everyone and say, this is my wife. We are connected. We made a commitment. That is the ultimate form of commitment and loyalty.
Yeah, but people still cheat in that scenario.
I mean, true, which that's why this is kind of a two-parter. But that's why I do agree with him, because I just go back to all the other advice I've ever heard dating experts say that a man, within a year, he knows he wants to marry you.
Okay, but are we talking about a guy that's 35 or a guy that's 28?
It's
very different.
Okay, I will say that. If that's where I guess, because I view it from my perspective, right, being 36, and if there's nothing hindering you, if there's like no career goals, if there's like, or not career goals, but if there's no like career milestones, financial like I have goals. To get to financial milestones, like I got to get this in place. Because again, men are blueprints. Men are blueprint workers. They work off of one blueprint and then, okay, let's go on to the next phase. So if there's not anything else within their blueprint that they need to work on before marriage, I think of it from that perspective because again, my age. So if there's nothing else and he's not marrying you, I 100% agree with that. He's not going to marry. He's not going to marry you.
I think that only agrees when you're in your like mid to 30s, early-ish 30s. I don't think that agrees when you're in your 20s. I don't think that's true when you're in your 20s. I think a lot of people that I know that are now married were together for many years before they got married because they were dating in their 20s.
I can see that.
I don't think length. I think it's two different things. Knowing you want to marry someone and marrying someone are two different things.
Right.
And it's all about him being ready. She may not be ready.
But that's kind of what they're saying, because usually I think it's kind of one of those things
usually
that like men are
we're waiting
the ones.
on the men.
Yeah,
but
we're always waiting on the men.
There are times where, like, I would say I know you were going to say, well, that didn't work out because you didn't want it. But between me and my ex, like, I wanted it less than he wanted it.
Mm-hmm.
So there are times where the woman is a little bit more like, no, I want to be done with school. I want to be this position. I want to be promoted. I want to travel more. I don't know, whatever,
Right.
It may be. I don't think length of time dictates that he's not going to marry you.
I don't know if it necessarily, well, no, I think it does. I do agree with the age. Yes, if you met when you're 25, maybe not everything is in place. And it also depends on what your goals are. It depends on what financial goals you have, career goals. Like I said, if there's really nothing on the blueprint that needs to happen first before marriage, then they should 100% be marrying you. After 3 years, yes, you should have least have a ring on that finger.
This girl definitely looks younger than us. Like, we don't know.
We don't know.
We don't know more about it. And I just don't think... I think it's too of a generalized statement to say that across the board.
Yeah, you can't apply it, across the board. I think there are some complexities as we've discussed, but I don't know. I'm still just a firm believer in if he wants you, you will know. And
that doesn't mean he doesn't want you.
See, but I think that to me that there's something that is saying to him that he doesn't. Like,
I don't think so. Like, I think about, like, even with my cousins, they were together for 10 years before they got married. Some of my friends that you personally know were together for nearly 10 years or at least 5-6 years before they got married. Like, and
that's why I say I agree with the age, because, like, some of your friends, like, they met
in the early 20s.
In the early 20s, where they were not in a position to get married just yet. They wanted to be together. They knew that that's most likely where they were heading. But they were still in school. They were still trying to figure out life.
But I think even people that meet at 27, 28, like, I don't think it's weird to not be getting married to your 31, 32. I don't think, think about a guy that's going through med school. Like, there's just so many factors in it that, I don't think that means he isn't going to marry you.
I don't know if it's 100%, but I think I don't know, there's something. But, okay, moving on to the second part, though. Of the loyalty,
I agree on the second part.
I 100% agree on that part.
Because as we've seen, I mean, a guy can be with you 24/7, and trust me, homie will find a way to cheat if he wants to cheat. It's not, just on that sense, it's not black and white either. Just because he's FaceTime you every night, just because he's doing all these things, that's not bulletproof that he's not going to cheat. Because a man, if he wants to cheat... will find a way to cheat.
If he wants to, he will. And that applies in many different areas.
Pursuing you and pursuing the affair.
So I'm gonna, I was like, do I want to share this? I guess I'll share it. I was not recently, it was a little bit back. I hooked up with a guy. And it's so hard for me to say. I'm like, it's so open and out there. And we're working through it. This is why we're going through therapy, everybody. But turns out he's engaged. And I did not know that before. And then he told me, and I was like, holy shit, like, what? You're engaged? And he's like, yeah. And he's like, I'm sorry I didn't tell you before, but, like, kind of knew this wasn't going to happen if I said it. And I was like, you're damn right. And I remember asking him, though, how are you able to get away with this? And I was just like, well, I don't understand. Like, how do you do this? And he said, I'm really good at bullshitting. And I was like, clearly. And I asked him a little bit more. I was like, but, like, how do you, I was like, I'm sorry if I'm, like, prying too much, but just, like, how, like, I I've never been in a relationship before, so I've never had anyone cheat on me. And I've never had like a friend who has had something, intense happen to them with cheating. So I was like, I need to ask, some questions. And I was like, well, in what ways, like bullshitting? And he was just like, well, I was like, okay, like, so where did you say you were tonight? And he was like, oh, like I said, I was with a coworker. And I was just like, that's wild. And I was like, and then you tell your coworker to like, make sure that like, if he like not to say anything or whatever. And he's like, yeah, he's like, I mean, they don't ever come in contact, but I do tell him like, just, hey, I was with you tonight. Right. And I think that he makes such a good point when he was like, men like routines. And so they do try to, and this isn't every man, so nobody come at us. We're not saying every man.
This is just a man that is wanting to cheat.
But if there is a man who wants to cheat, he will use that schedule, that routine, he will use it to his advantage. And he knows, like he said, it puts you at ease. And so you think, how could he cheat on me? There were no red flags. He FaceTimed me all the time. When he goes on business trips, he FaceTimes me. He sends me pictures. He's texting me late at night.
No, I'm
just saying that I have seen.
Yeah. I mean, I personally know. I have a friend that was married that her and her husband were always together. Always together. He was always at events with her. He was always with our family. Like, it was always together. And he was cheating at work. Right? So,
yeah.
Again, if they want to.
They will.
They will.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how much time they spend with you, whatever. And that's what it kind of ties back to with the whole thing when it's dating, where it's like, if he wanted to, he will. Because the man's is finding a way to cheat, he can sure as hell find a way to fucking pursue you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If he wants to, he will.
Where there's a will, there's a way.
Where there's a will, there's a way. Like, that is the best way to put it when girls are like, when that's debated, where it's like, well, I don't know if he wanted to, he would. It's like, no, if he wanted to, he would.
Because I have seen that argument of that if he wanted to, he would. It actually isn't applicable.
Yeah.
And I do think that in some scenarios it isn't, but I think it's when it's but I think it's when women are just like, well, he doesn't text me, so if he wanted to, he would. It's like, well,
that's
people's
different.
communication style is different. That doesn't look the same. But I think when it does come down to specifics of
does he want you or not?
Does he want to date you? I mean, we were just talking about a friend of ours who's going on a date tomorrow. Yeah. And he's coming down to her because she has work early in the morning.
Yeah.
And it's not even so, and he's not from her area. She's in OC and he's not from her area. And he texted her and said, here's what I found in your area.
Oh, you guys, okay, for my male viewers, if you want to gain some brownie points, because when I tell you, when she sent it to me, I was like, even in my book, there's brownie points.
Yes.
And then I was talking about Jackie, but we're talking about this today's episode now. And I was like, just read this, Jackie.
Yes.
And Jackie's like, the effort. So basically, he's not from the area at all. He made a whole compiled research of like places to go to.
Yes.
He didn't even say like, oh, this is your area. Like, do you have any recommendations of where we should go? Nothing.
Which I will be honest, I would have 100% expected.
No.
Like I would have expected, not that I would approve of it, but I would have expected him to just be like, hey, well, it's your area. Are there places that you like to go? I would like to take you to some place that you like.
No, but that would be a turnoff for me.
I mean, it would be, but again, just because I expect it doesn't mean I approve of it. So, or I'm willing to accept it. I'm just saying that I would have expected, based off of typical behavior, dating behavior.
So, even then, he made the executive decision and he picked a place.
Yes.
With the time. And I was like, I know it's crazy because it's something that is so like, we shouldn't be so amazed when a guy puts in effort.
The bar is so low.
The bar is so low that we shouldn't be so like, wow, he researched.
Right.
Because there's so many guys that don't do that bullshit. Let me tell you just what happened to me today.
Yeah.
Where another guy that when I was on Hinge in San Diego, we connected, we ended up meeting, but he wants to meet and like, he's like, it's kind of like a halfway thing. And he was like, what he said to me was, he said, should I pick a place or are you gonna? He said, should I pick a place or are you going to be picking a place? And the second I read that, I was like,
Pass.
I was like, honestly, even the last few dates that I went on, the date I'm going on this week, not once did the guy tell me, where do you want to go? All three guys have been like, here's the place and here's the time. See you there. Which is what I like. I want assertiveness. I want a man to be a man. But for you to sit there, we haven't even been on a first date and ask me if I'm picking the place. Bro, we're not going on a date now. I'm sorry. Like things like that is no exception for me. Yeah. And I don't know if other people feel this way, but if you ask me where do you want to go, the date's not happening. This is telling me how the relationship's going to be, and this is not the type of guy I'm looking for.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
Absolutely not. And then Jackie was like, just tell him to say, I'll let you take the lead on this. So I was like, whatever, I'll say that to him. And even then, it's like I'm giving you a shot that I don't even want to give you.
Right.
I'm throwing you the bone I really do not want to throw you, but let's just see how you respond.
Yeah, that's why I said, you know what? And again, it was kind of like a verbal cue of, I'll let you take the lead.
Yeah. And then his response, and then we were done. After his response was like, what did?
Oh, his response.
You know what? Maybe I should just pull it up.
His response was,
you're a brave woman having me pick a spot. I found a few spots. Let's meet. And he said the city. Yeah. Walk around and find a place.
Pass. Listen to me.
It's such a. Oh,
Listen, if you're having a hard time, or if you're just having a hard time in dating in general, or if you're like, you know what, like, I'm the nice guy, I don't ever get the girls. One, it's actually a good sign because the girls that are rejecting nice, you don't want them. The only trashy girls and bad, the cast-offs, they're going to reject the nice. So honestly, you really want to win in dating. It's just this type of effort of I found a place. Here it is. I made a reservation for this time. And like going back to the original situation that we were talking about with our friend, he even said, oh, like I got us a reservation at this place, which is a nice place. And he said, you know, I had to search out a little bit farther from you to get more options. He goes, and I liked this place. More so excited just to meet you.
Yeah. Marry this man.
Marry this man.
Yeah.
So like, if you are having a hard time in the dating scene as a man, or if you're like, I don't even know where to start, or like, I'm just like not that guy. I'm not super charming. I'm not cool, whatever. You can win a girl. You can win her heart by showing effort and being genuine in your effort in pursuit. And this is what's called courting. You all need to really look up what courting means. I know it's an old school term that we don't hear anymore, and it seems very archaic and early 1900s, but y'all really need to look up what courting is. Men and women, both. Men, you need to look it up because you need to understand what the hell it actually means. Yep. And women, you need to look it up because you need to understand what we should be expecting in that phase. A courting phase, go do your research.
So do yours. So yeah, if you're gonna tell me, first you told me, ask me if I'm gonna pick the place. Second of all, then you say we can walk around and find a place. No thanks.
Absolutely not.
No,
absolutely. You can walk around and go find another date.
Yeah,
because I won't be there.
You can walk around because I'm sorry.
Pass.
I have standards, and that's not me.
And that's not it. And that is not it.
I do not appreciate low effort.
Okay, so low effort. Coffee dates.
Pass. That's low effort to me. That's easy to me.
I don't feel that's low effort.
That's easy. I don't like it. And I don't drink coffee.
Well, you're so dumb. You can drink anything at any spot, tea, whatever. I don't feel like they're low effort.
No one has asked me. Like, one guy did ask me on Hinge a coffee date. Obviously, I didn't go. But I proceeded to tell him that I don't drink coffee. And he was like, oh, how about a smoothie date? At 7 p.m. At 7 p.m. This guy is trying to have a smoothie date at 7 p.m. Are we going to meet at the Jamba Juice at 7 p.m.?
You, me, Jamba Juice. Yes or yes?
First of all, there's so many things wrong with this where it's like, who has a smoothie date in the evening? Like
Razzle dazzle smoothie.
If he would have been like, let's go for this hike and we can get a smoothie after, like, not my favorite, but I'd consider it.
Right.
I would definitely consider it. I don't mind. It's decent. But just be like 7 o'clock smoothies. It's like, I obviously said no. But that's how I feel with the coffee date. It's a low investment on your end. You are going on, in my mind, it's like, yeah, I can't hold a guy accountable for this, or not accountable, but I can't hold him to that standard because we're also going on like other dates. But to me, a coffee date shows that you are mass dating. You want to spend not that much money, and it's easy to just meet for a coffee.
See, I will say, though, I understand that perspective. But for me, coffee dates are not low. They're a low investment, but sometimes I think that they're a smart investment. And this is why I say this. I have been on a number of coffee dates, and I've thought to myself, thank God this was a coffee date. I could not stand to be on a date with this dude for 2 hours. And I'm telling you, our conversation, our texting was great before then. That's why I went on the date. If it was trash, I wouldn't be like, yeah, maybe it'll be better in person. Here I go. It was fine. But sometimes digital does not translate into the real world. And so I will say that there have been, not many times, but there have been multiple times where I have been on coffee dates and I'm like, thank God. Thank God I only got a coffee and I do not have to continue this. I didn't waste the time or the makeup, an outfit, driving. Like, I simply had a Starbucks that was near me. Or another coffee shop, and I was like, thank God. I could not have been on a dinner date with this guy.
I actually have not. I've been on mostly only dinner dates, or if it's not a dinner date, then it's meeting for drinks. Those have been the variation of it. And I've never had one that I was like, wow, I dreaded it. Yeah, I didn't feel a connection, but I still had fun. But I've never had one that bad.
Oh, no. I've had some bad ones where they were just like...
You know why? Because it's a guy asking you on a coffee date. That is why. That proves my point exactly.
That does not prove any
That does
point.
prove my point.
No, it doesn't.
They were all bad because they were coffee dates.
No, they were bad because it just didn't end up translating into
because that tells me the type of guy
physical.
that is.
See, I don't think so. Because there's also been guys that I've gone on coffee dates with. Then I'm like, oh, this is a great time.
I'm sorry. People may think I'm an asshole. But if you ask me on a coffee date, I'm going to say no.
See, I don't say no.
Jackie will say yes.
Yeah, I'll say yes.
I'm going to say no.
I'm okay with it. Now, if it's like, obviously second, third day, I'm going to be like, no, let's go do other things. But like, first, I see it as kind of a meet and greet.
No, I don't want to like sit here and like toot my own horn, but I'm worth more than a coffee date.
But that's what I'm saying. I don't care about like what, I'm not going to say I don't care about what I'm worth. No, I don't see a date as like, oh, that's low investment or low effort.
It is low effort.
And that way, then I'm not worth that effort. I'm not saying that. I don't see it that way. I see it from a different perspective. I see it as
low effort because even the guys in my family that I know, it's like for them, they were doing coffee dates because they were going out with so many girls that was financially like affordable.
I will
to
say,
me,
that's fair.
It is fair, but then to me, you asking me on a coffee date just shows me your serious level.
I can understand that. I can understand if you're that maybe you may see that as kind of like, look, I think you're really like a serial dater. Or you're just like, boom, 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 boom. Like, I'm just going like, date after date after date after date.
I appreciate, and I got this vibe from the guys that I've gone out with where it's like, yeah, I match with girls on these apps, but I'm not going out with that many girls. Like, they feel it out and see if they even want to see the person, right? Which I appreciate more than just like every girl you connect with, coffee date. Like, to me, you're a serial dater. You're not even weeding them out.
I can see that. Just like, that makes sense to me.
You're just like mass dating.
It's
easy. It's going to cost you $10. Like, you're out in an hour.
Yeah. Which then can, present the question of just then what are you looking for? Are you just looking to find a relationship just for the sake of it? Or are you trying to look for somebody to hook up with?
So
like, what's the situation?
That. I prefer a guy that is more choosy, and I prefer a guy that is not just going on multiple dates like that. Because, it can be expensive. If you're taking every girl out to a restaurant every day.
It gets very expensive.
It gets expensive. But then I don't want to be someone who is mass dating. I mean, I have matched with so many guys. I've only gone out with 2.
Yeah, no, I'm not a serial dater. Like, I don't do the whole, like, I mean, I've had friends tell me, like, when I'm just like, I don't know if I want to go out with this guy, and they'll be like, why not? It's a free meal. I'm like, because I don't need free food.
I don't need free food, and my time is more valuable.
Like, exactly. Like, I can buy myself dinner. The words of Miley Cyrus, like, buy myself flowers. Yeah. Like, I could. I don't need a man to do that. What I'm trying to find is a genuine connection. What I'm trying to find is I'm trying to see if I enjoy this person and I would like to continue and possibly pursue something serious. That's what I'm dating for. I'm a serious dater. I'm not a serial dater.
Exactly. And that, to me, sounds like a serial dater in my book. So,
yeah.
I prefer someone who's not a serial dater. And that to me is, I feel like generally the guys that are asking on those dates are not serial daters because it's going to be expensive to keep doing that.
True. No, I mean, that is a valid point. Because I've never really kind of thought about it from the perspective of their seriousness, right? Or the level of, how really, connected they are to this, or maybe they're just trying, I don't know, maybe it's just a pastime or whatever.
Yeah,
maybe they just want an ego boost.
It's low investment to me, so it's easy to just be like, let's meet for, it's just, I don't like it. Yeah. All right, next one. And we probably have time for one more, so this one's an interesting one, so let's talk about this one.
Are you guys really finding the one, or are we just picking one and going with it?
Listen, I was single for the last 4 years. I went on over 150 first dates. I was so sad about being single that I did my dissertation on romantic love and technology. So I've read a lot of the research here, and there's some really interesting insights. Long story short, people are picking, and they're happier for picking than for thinking that there's a perfect match out there. So 50% of singles in the Match.com study of 2022 found that they fell in love with someone who they initially weren't attracted to. Half of people. And 2, studies suggest that even believing in a soulmate or a perfect match sets you up for unhealthy relationship patterns. People who have a perfect match definition of love tend to experience overreactions to conflict and lower relationship satisfaction, versus people who define love or view a soulmate as a fellow traveler in a journey tend to have much more adaptive perspectives. So don't settle when it comes to values or someone treating you poorly, or God forbid you don't even like spending time with them, but be open-minded and give people a chance.
I 100% agree.
About what?
I agree that you would be happier by like picking someone that matches your values and what you want in life versus just someone like wishful thinking where you're going to find this perfect match. Because I'm someone that doesn't believe in soulmates.
Yeah, I don't believe in soulmates either.
I think you can have connections with multiple people.
Oh, I think there's multiple people that you could marry.
Yeah, I think
have a great life with.
I think some way heavier than others in terms of compatibility.
Yes.
But I don't think there's like this one.
Yeah, I don't believe that either. And it's funny that I feel like sometimes I talk about this with people and they're kind of just like, but like you're a Christian and like you believe, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I do. I honestly don't even think that like soulmate is like a concept even from like that like even Jesus would approve of. No, I don't. I just don't think that there's one person out there and then, you just have to find them. I think that there's a lot and I think that there's free will. So yeah, I think I personally do believe that yes, like I think that God knows like your plan or plan for your life and he knows like the person that he wants you to be with. But I think there's also free will. So just because that person doesn't work out or if that person decides to go on a different path, like it's like, oh, well, you're screwed. Like God's like, I don't know. Like that was your only shot.
Yeah,
like I don't believe in that.
I don't believe in that at all.
Yeah. And so I think I love her point because it kind of echoes what we were saying last episode about ego. And that messages from the heart are that everyone has a story and you should be curious about everyone's life and that you should, take time. And that's crazy, that statistic, that 50%, half of people ended up marrying somebody that they weren't initially attracted to.
I think that makes sense because even what we've been seeing, right, where it's like you don't actually want the instant chemistry.
Yeah.
And I think all of us, because I was struggling with that for a while. Sometimes I still do where I'll go on a date and I'm like, well, I didn't feel this instant chemistry. But you don't want that because that's not real.
Yeah.
There's nothing to build off from there. You go from a high to like a low essentially.
Right.
Versus you want it where it gradually increases. So I would much rather have someone that matches my values and wants and we're on the same page about what we want in life.
Yeah.
Than in search of like hopelessly like looking for this man that's going to be everything I desire, that is going to make these butterflies come. And it's like this Disney movie and
that's the shitty part. Yeah, I know we've talked about Disney before and how it's ruined everyone. But no, I think it's interesting how in the beginning of the clip how she was saying like, are we like falling in love with people or are we just picking people? And I think that there is I think there's kind of a fine. I think there's a fine line, but I think that there's kind of that gray area where it's kind of both.
Yeah,
you are picking somebody that you typically it's kind of outside your norm. But obviously you connect on values and ethics and morals and how you function in life and, religion or whatever that looks like. And you like spending time with them. And I think that then that transitions into like, no, I've really grown to love this person, which, we're not. So I think you are picking love, but
in a different form.
In a different way. You're just you're not going for the, oh my God, it was instant chemistry.
I think that's the struggle. Everybody wants the sparks flying,
Everyone wants the rom-com.
They want the rom-com.
You want the meet
story.
Cute. You want, we both reach for the same tomato at Trader Joe's and, I don't know.
But I do think it's unrealistic. And I agree with her that you would be more satisfied in a marriage where you kind of base it upon the same goals, the same
absolutely.
Values, the same morals, as you were saying.
Talk to anybody who's divorced and maybe what they went through was just like, yeah, we basically found out that we are not the same people. We don't want the same things or talk to somebody, I think, that you then had brought kids into it. And it was like, oh shit, like how do we even raise our kids? Like I believe in this, he doesn't. Like I'm a religious person, this person isn't.
That's
like
literally what happened to my parents, right? So yeah, I think it's very detrimental to yourself hoping for this perfect match, like this one perfect guy or girl that's going to just fit everything you're looking for. That doesn't exist.
Yes,
you just have to find the perfect person for your wants and values, but you're not going to find a perfect person all around. And it's not going to be this like huge ordeal of like sparks and like butterflies and all that. Like, I think that takes time to grow. And I think that is okay. And people need to accept that. That is okay. You don't need instant.
Yes, you don't need instant. Actually encourage everyone to look up instant chemistry and those butterflies, quote unquote. Very interesting stuff that has come from psychologists and therapists about how it's actually like your body's nervous system or if you're used to chaos. That's just like what feels normal to you. That's why a lot of people, I think we talked about before, when they say like, I thought she was boring. It's like, no, they're just healthy. But no, I agree. I think also people forget that you're in this for the long haul. No one gets married thinking like, well, divorce is always there if this doesn't work out. No one's thinking that. No one's given that in the wedding toast, right? And that marriage is for the long haul. So think about it when you're dating, think about it from that perspective. Like, would this be a long haul person? Would I want to continue to talk about things with this person 20 years from now, 40 years from now, maybe even 60 years from now? I think Matthew Hussey has said that marriage is a 50-year conversation because everything else is going to fall by the wayside. Your looks, right? Like for women, our tits are going to sag. Like everything's going to just start touching the floor when it shouldn't be. We're all going to just get fat and old. That's just what's going to happen. And so when that stuff's no longer there, or like the perfection, and also just life doesn't turn out that way. There's going to be very high highs and very low lows that you have no idea what's coming. God forbid you have to deal with major travesty in your life, like a child dying or something. Like that's awful. And no one again thinks about like, could I deal with death with this person? Yeah. But you know what? Maybe you start thinking like, is this the person that I really want by my side if one of the worst things fucking happens to me? Like think about miscarriage. Would this be a man that supports you and loves you and takes care of you when you both have lost a child, but maybe it's affecting you more because, it's during pregnancy? Like truly, maybe start asking yourself that way.
I agree.
Asking those questions. So yes, we're picking, but we're falling in love with our pick.
I think you're just being more wise about it. You're being more smart about your choices.
Yes.
Because it's just unrealistic to think that there's going to be this amazing one person.
Right.
And it's never going to happen. You're never going to find a match in this like crazy, passionate love story. That's like, and I don't think she's just saying like you're picking this random guy.
Yeah,
you're picking what makes sense and what you can build upon.
Right. Well, because it kind of brings up, I know we only have a little bit of time, but it brings up Miranda from Sex and the City. And if you've watched Sex and the City, you'll know what we're talking about when she says men are like cabs. So she says, it's not fate. His light is on. That's all. Men are like cabs. When they're available, their light goes on. They awake one day and decide they're ready to settle down, have babies, whatever. And they turn their light on. Next woman they pick up, boom, that's the one they'll marry. It's not fate. It's dumb luck. Which kind of makes me think of this because it's like just randomly picking somebody. How do you feel about that? Do you think that's true?
I think it is true and it's not. I do think it is true where even if a man is very into you, but if they are not where they want to be in life,
yeah,
they won't go the marriage route. that, because a lot of men want, like, they need to feel fulfilled
Yes.
in order to go to that route. So I understand the whole, might be the right person, but I'm just not ready for it.
So right person, wrong time.
Yeah. So yeah, and then I could understand this other coin of this is when they are ready, it's the first girl that matches kind of the base of what they're looking for.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of a yes and no with this as well, because I think that sometimes men are just like, yeah, I'm ready. And depending on the man, they're just like, this is good enough. Like, yeah, I was attracted to her. Like, she was nice. She was sweet. She's this, she's that. Like, yep, works for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and there's really kind of nothing else to it. They're very simple creatures sometimes. And so, yeah, sometimes I do think that men are just kind of like, because sometimes I think that maybe explains why women are with these men for 5 years and then they break up and then the man's married within the next year and a half.
Yeah.
To the next girl. And maybe that really wasn't, he was just riding around with the passenger when his light wasn't on. He just didn't have the heart to kick her out. And then he did. And then, oh, now I'm ready. Turns the light on, picks up the next girl, and then that's it. So, and I don't know, maybe it's not as simple as that, but I don't know. I think that there is some truth to it.
I think there's some truth, but I agree with you. I don't think there's that simple. I think just like the first video we saw, there's just a lot of factors that fall into it.
Yeah, I do think that now maybe it was like that before.
Yeah.
When again, we've kind of talked about this, when men, all they were looking for was like, look, I want kids, like, can you make a home for me? Like, are you nice? Can I bring you home to the parents type of thing? And then women were like, yeah, cool. Can you provide for me? There was very clear definitions of like where you were, within your roles. And now it's not like that. It's like, I very much want a partner. And I think, I don't know, maybe men are starting to do that too. So maybe it's not maybe, again, it's not blanket statement. It's not like all, but I don't know. It's, I think a better way to describe it is the blueprint. Men work off of a blueprint. They are not like women where, going back to the blueprint analogy, we can sit there and be like, well, the paint's drying, so I'm going to go cut this. And then once I'm done cutting that, the paint will be dry. So then I'll do another coat. And then once that's drying, I'm going to go put that. But like, men don't bounce around like that. Yeah. They have one thing that they're working on, and that is it.
And then they go to the next one.
And then they go to the next one. And so maybe that kind of what explains, it seems like then they just turn their light on when they're ready, and then the next person they pick up. But sometimes I think men are very purposeful, and they're like, no, this is my goal and I need to get it done. I'm not going to sit here and play around in this stage forever. I want to get married. That's my goal. I'm ready to have a family and settle down. All right, you? Great. And maybe they actually do fall in love. I don't know. But, and actually that blueprint, that's actually from a book called Why Men Won't Commit by George Weinberg. You can find it on Amazon. I have it. It's a very interesting book. Very, very, very interesting. I highly recommend reading it because the title says, yes, why men won't commit, getting what you both want without playing games. And I'm not a game player, so that's what drew me to this. But it actually is, it more so explains men and for women, we really kind of don't understand men sometimes.
For sure. And we both don't understand each other.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. We both don't understand each other. So highly recommend that book. But we would love to hear what everyone thought.
Yeah. The things that we didn't agree on.
Yeah.
And all the topics.
Yeah. All the topics. What do you think about?
I'm sure you guys will engage with us online.
Yes.
We do see it.
Yes. Please do. No, we enjoy it. But yeah, we'd love to hear your opinions on everything from the taxi theory to coffee dates.
Plans. Are you going to go if he doesn't have a plan?
Yeah. Are you going to still go? And what would you say?
Yeah.
Are we dating? Are we picking? Or are we actually falling in love? So we'd love to hear everyone's opinion. Yes. Again, please go and give us a rating on wherever you listen.
If it's not a 5, don't give us a rating.
Yeah, if it's not a 5, I don't want it. So
be very purposeful in your rankings.
So basically, everyone go give us 5 stars because you want to give us 5 stars. And
if you listened this far,
we're almost to 30 episodes, so clearly we're worth 5 stars. But leave us a review. We'd love to hear it.
Again, if it's not good, don't leave it.
I actually enjoy the good, the bad, and the ugly.
I enjoy the good and the good.
But no, go engage with us wherever you listen. It does help us. It does help our pod get a little bit more noticed, which is always fun. But yeah, thank you for tuning in. We appreciate you all, and we'll catch you next week.
Yes, have a great week.
Bye.
Bye.